One of the most common interpretations of the Tales books is that they're all canon to the games. I don't fully agree with that. I have some problems with it. Just throw up videos that kind of explain my problems. But if I were to have them canon, per se, I have some sort of stitch line type theory. Like, basically the theory is that Freddy the Frights is canon, but it's only the epilogues, stories that connect to it. And since a lot of people basically just believe not nowhere near the entirety of Frights is canon, I feel like I'm allowed to basically say not every story in Tales is canon, or would be if it was canon. So I don't know how to start this video. Let's just get the basics down. I'm just gonna not talk about most of B72 and B7 itself, since I don't have the book, so maybe some stories have big lore implications. So let's get this out of the way. The epilogues are probably the most canon in the games, since basically the main theory for Stitchline is that the epilogues are canon. So if the epilogues are canon, we basically just say all stories that directly connect to the epilogues are canon, like the Storyteller, the Mimic, and Tiger Rock. Also, Nexi, since the Storyteller is mentioned. The next type I would say is the lore-heavy stories, which include Help Wanted and Diddlephobia, since Wanted kind of explains the backstory of the rogue indie developer, and Diddlephobia explains a lot of FNAF 4's location. Maze realized I forgot one lore-heavy story, GGY, which I like to label this section as the GGY chicanery, which GGY has a lot of lore implications. Basically, Gregory's patient 46, and who at one point was controlled by Glitch Trap. But however, and during the stories, a lot of the rides are mentioned, which we see in the other stories, like Under the Construction, Haps, Pressure, and Caliphophobia. I say two other stories that probably are canon are Bobby Dots 1 and 2, since the Bobby Dots have a nearly perfect Pizzaplex location. It explains some random stuff, like the origins of Sun and Moon. They're not fucking built by William Game Theory. I still love you though, please marry me. And like Music Man is like weird bouncer mode. These next two stories I personally would perceive as canon because they like parallel, oh my god, parallel. a lot of like stuff from other stories in the games. Those are Drowning and The Multi Within. Drowning since basically a similar plot with Under Construction, where someone plays a VR game, they get trapped there for a long time, and they presumably die in there. The Multi Within, like parallel to Vanessa's story in VR, where she plays a VR game and like some AI controls her. Like she basically has two personalities, her the good side and the bad side. And some random stories that maybe are canon are Lolly's game. It's some of Phobia, like the one with the moon thing. It feels so weird about Lolly's games that this story most likely happens like after like a good amount of the games. Also weird that the place is called the Freddy's Pizzaplex, not like the Mega Pizzaplex, which is the Pizzaplex, just Freddy's Pizzaplex. Oh, I forgot to mention like Bleeding Heart, since the Pizzaplex is like, and Somnophobia basically has a moon in it, so I guess a big point of the plot, but that's not like the main character. I forgot his name. It's like the weird cutting robots. I don't know what the things are. I fucking hate that story. So those are all the stories I would think are canon. I'm just really missing. There's only 3, not including B7, B72, and Alone together. Those stories are Mechaphobia and Animatronic Apocalypse and Frailty. For me, my problem with Mechaphobia is that it actually contradicts the lore. Like, at the FNAF 6, there are no more Freddy between the Pizzaplex and the VR. However, Mechaphobia says that Freddy's had a water park, and it's still there, even when Freddy's stopped being a company. Animatronic Apocalypse, this is kind of a biased reason I fucking hate that story. Like, basically, we don't know. It's literally a Freddy cult run by a fucking predator, and also like it barely mentions the Pizzaplex. I have no memory of it being mentioned, but it probably was. And Frailty, I fucking hate that story. Like, I think as a story, it's really good. The lore implication is fucking awful. Like, Frailty implies Eleanor is in Tails, which that would most likely mean Fright is canon, which I fully disagree that Fright is canon. I don't believe Tails is canon, but I'm willing to be wrong. Fright's over, no, that's not canon. I refuse to believe that. And since the pizza place is only mentioned in one line, and that's it, I want to believe it's just not canon. So that is all the stories I would think are canon to the games, if they were canon. Like I said, I still don't believe Tails is canon, but I'm willing to be wrong with that. So this is my first FNAF theory video, which, I'm sorry, like, the video's dog shit. So thank you guys for watching, like, comment, subscribe, see you all later. Goodbye.